Okay, everyone, now I'm going to sew down this little line right here, one of the back or the bottom pockets or sleeves, as I call it. Get this set up right here. Go ahead and get this set up. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Like I said, this will go underneath the ID pocket as well as go under the card pockets. Like this one and then the other one as well. I went ahead and adjusted my flywheel and found out that it wasn't the flywheel. I didn't have my my bobbin thread winder secured, and it kept hitting the flywheel or just scraping it. So I got it out of the way for now, at least. Let's see. That's good. Alright, see what we got here. What I also like about the walking foot sewing machines is that we can go over a single piece of leather, or if it's packed, like if we're going up over tops of leather like this right here, it'll still sew without a problem, and it will get everything even and lined up. So this one came out good. Do this other one, and we should be able to start on the pocket or the ID holder, the ID pocket right there. Okay, that's good. Alright, let's see. Get this one sewed down. Once again, I've been using the bonded nylon for a long time, and I've never had a problem with it at all. Bonded nylon thread is usually really strong, and it comes in quite a bit of colors, I guess you could say. Quite a few different colors. Another reason I like the walking foot, it's set up to go into the same hole when you go into reverse, which is really nice. Okay, there's the other sew line. Came in real good. Back came in real tight. Nice. It's going to be a pretty wallet. Okay, now we're going to sew in this pocket, get this finished up, or at least most of it. I've got to put a little sleeve behind the ID holder once I sew this in, but we'll go ahead and get this sewed in right quick. So far so good. Get around this edge. I'm starting up at the top because I don't want to sew in that little pocket without the other side being sewed in. So I got to get the ID first sewed in, or at least the window. And then I'll put a piece of pig lining behind the window, which will give a little pocket for the ID to be without being under the sleeve, or without moving around in the back of the sleeve up top. We don't need that, so I'm putting a little sleeve behind it, or a little piece of pig lining behind the window. That way everything will line up like it's supposed to. Come out really good. There we go. My sister lives up in Illinois, and she says, "I can't believe you're sewing and she doesn't really care for sewing." And I'm like, well, that's what I've always enjoyed doing. So when I was in high school, I made a red and blue martial art karate gi. Now this was when I was sighted, of course, and I did make an A on it. And many years back, when I was in the martial arts, they had a competition in Fort Worth, Texas. It was called the Fort Worth Pro Amateur Series, and I was able to compete a little bit. Didn't do too good, but I wore the gi, and a lady said that she was from another part of the country, and she saw the gi and she thought it was the prettiest thing she'd ever seen. Asked me where I bought it, and I told her I had made it, and she just looked at me like, "You're kidding." It's like, well, so I really enjoyed doing that. It was fun. Then when I started being able to sew with leather, it came out really even better. I was very happy to begin doing this, and been doing it ever since. Went down to Austin, Texas, and they had a school for the blind for a while, and I was an adult, of course, and there was a lady there that was teaching blind people how to sew, and I went in and sewed for about an hour with her, and she was scratching her head. She was like, "Well, I guess I don't need to teach you anything." And of course we became friends, and she did teach me quite a bit about a lot of things in the sewing world. But she enjoyed working with somebody that had already learned how to sew. She said it made her teaching world a little easier in my case. So she was very pleased about that. Alright. Okay. Seems like I got the window sewed in pretty good all the way around here. Got around that edge. Now, like I say, I'm gonna put a piece of pig lining right here. I'm gonna glue it in on the side here, and then I'm gonna sew across the top so it'll be sewed in all the way around except for underneath here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and sew up this side right there. Matter of fact, I'll do that right now while you're on video with me. And then when I get the pig lining in it, it'll sit behind this, and it will basically house the ID, which will be nice, and that way the ID will stay where it's supposed to. And it will never move when you get other things in the behind the sleeve. Moving right along. Yes, my sister told me, she said, as long as you keep making the videos, I'll keep watching them. I'm like, well, I appreciate that. Tell you what, this machine has been real nice. I guess it should be, being brand new, but every stitch seems to be very good. So far, so good. Must have a burr on the needle or something. It doesn't want to pull smooth. Time to change needles. There we go. There we go. It's a little better. Okay. Down the side. Got the back done. Now I'm going to put it in the sleeve and sew across that top right there, and we'll be done with the ID. Okay, we'll see you in a few.